Well, good afternoon. Here's Pastor Hayton again with the Lower Lights Devotional. Thanks for sitting down with me for a few minutes on this beautiful day of life. Found out that the Bible wants a joyful people. Happy is the people whose God is the Lord. With joy ye shall draw water from the well of salvation. I believe that the Bible has a lot to say about joy. And I believe that if anybody on earth has a right to be joyful, it ought to be the Christian. But this joy does not always come from outward circumstances. We considered yesterday there are certainly day before yesterday, there are predators of our joy. Sometimes adversity strikes and robs us of our joy. Sometimes it's affliction that overtakes the body. Sometimes it's aggravation. You know, the wife or the husband or their friends aggravate us, and it can take away our joy. I think anger can take away our joy. It's difficult to be angry and joyful at the same time. So we've got to watch the predators of joy, but we've also got to be on guard against the things that we think bring joy that do not really bring a lasting joy. Like the kid and his first new bicycle, how happy he is. A young man that acquires his first automobile, whether it be a used car or a brand new car, we're joyful over that acquisition. It might be that we come to realize our dream home later in life, and as we take possession of our dream home, we're the happiest person in the world, but we find that happiness is not always a lasting happiness. And so we've got to be careful about realizing that it's not the acquisition of things that bring us joy. It's not always the events that take place in our life. We've had some happy events, haven't we? They say all weddings are happy. Sometimes the living together after the wedding isn't always so happy, but all weddings are happy, and generally speaking, you see the bride and groom, and they're just smiling ear to ear on their wedding day. Perhaps this is what they've always dreamed of, finding their soulmate and spending their lives together. And happiness does come from finding your soulmate and living a life with your companion. But it's not the joy of the Lord. It's not the lasting joy. It can be marred by so many things. It might be that we think of an event such as a family gathering. I'm always happy when my family can get together. I'll be so glad when this COVID scare is over, and once again our family can get together, all 28 or 30 of us, and have a good meal and a good evening together, and that's a joyous time. And I think too about other events that may come into our life that bring joy. I think about the birth of a child, perhaps. I remember we've had 4 children, and each one of those 4 children, they just bring a certain joy into our life. And we think about how, the Bible even mentions that children are a gift of God. And happy is the man that has his quiver full of them. But that's not where our joy is really going to come from. That's not a lasting joy. Any one of those events can be marred in some way to where it's no longer joyful. So we've got to recognize today that this joy that God wants us to enjoy, it's not from the acquisition of things, it's not from the happy times of life. And later on we'll discover just where the joy of the Lord comes from. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, good Lord willing, here on the Lower Lights Devotional with Pastor Hayton. Goodbye now.